Part 8. Blueprints versus reality, or metrical schemes and variation. When looking at metre, there is an important distinction between a metrical scheme and the actual pattern of long and short syllables in a particular verse on the page. A metrical scheme is a kind of plan, outline, blueprint, or specification that shows what is possible. It contains positions, which may be filled by syllables of the correct length. Positions are long, short, or anceps, which means indifferent or unregulated. An actual verse, however, is made up of actual syllables that are actually short or long. A metrical scheme for iambic trimeter could look like this: anceps, long, short, long, anceps, long, short, long, anceps, long, short, long. It could also look a lot more complicated if you account for a greater degree of nuance. But an actual verse following that scheme looks like this: tes atikes nomis etinai ton topon. If we look at each individual syllable, we can see that while some positions in the scheme were anceps, undecided, in the actual verse, they all become either long or short. None of them are undecided anymore. This distinction is important because many schemes allow for a lot of variation in how exactly their positions get filled. Often it is possible to fill a long position with two short syllables. This is called resolution. Likewise, two short positions can often be filled with one long syllable. This is called contraction. Contraction means that in dactylic hexameter, pairs of short positions can be filled instead by long syllables. This creates spondees in the line when two long syllables appear in a row. As a result, the pattern is not so monotonous, since there can be some variation between lines, even though they're all following the same scheme. Contraction and resolution work because, in terms of the time taken to say the syllables, one long syllable is roughly equivalent to two short syllables. It's actually a ratio of about 5 to 6. However, there are many rules about when exactly resolution and contraction are likely to occur. It depends on the position in the line, the type of poetry, the time period, the poet, and sometimes even the stage of the poet's career. Because of resolution, a more realistic metrical scheme for iambic trimeter might look like this: either two shorts and a long, or an anceps and two shorts, or an anceps and a long, followed by a short, then either two shorts or a long, then an anceps, then a caesura, which means a word break, followed by either two shorts or a long, then a short, then a caesura will go in this place if it didn't go in the other one, then either two shorts or a long, an anceps, a long, a short, and a long, then the end of the period. That's what the two vertical bars represent. Early in the line, there is a lot of scope for resolution. However, in the final metron, you're less likely to see resolution. The line gets stricter towards the end. Let's look at an example from Euripides and Medea. We'll find that the rhythm is reasonably regular, but because of the anceps positions, there's some variation between long and short syllables there. And because of resolution, there are two places where a long or anceps position has been replaced by two short syllables, and the result is 4 short syllables in a row. Pollas dechus athanasimus autois hodus, ukoid hopoia proton en chirophilae, poteron ufapso, doma nuficom puri, sige domus esbas hinestrota lejos, algendimoi prosantesi lefthesomai, domus supermainusa kai technomene, thanus atheso toise mois ectrois gelon, kratis taten euthian, he peftucamen sophoi malista, pharmacois autus helene. So what we covered here is the distinction between a metrical scheme, which is like a blueprint for the many possibilities for a line, and the shape of an actual line, which fills in those positions with syllables